along with 95% of coaches and consultants, are creating content the wrong way, but not on purpose. Lucky for you, I'm here to flip your perspective on content creation. Over the past 2 years, I've generated more than $3 million with my own consulting business without a single piece of content going viral. And I'm not the only one. Just take a look at my clients. They have two things in common. They have a very small but committed audience of buyers, and they're all doing more than $20,000 a month in revenue with their own digital coffee shop. Today, I'll show you exactly how you can set a clear goal for your content, one that drives short-term business growth and long-term success for your brand and name. I'll do this by walking you through the 7 biggest mistakes that I see coaches and consultants make in their content creation process and how you can avoid them to attract an audience of loyal, ready-to-buy clients. It's really important for me to say this. Everything great that has ever happened to me and my business has been because of the content that I've shared online. Because of content, I've become friends with people who are miles ahead of me in this game. I've been able to host events all over the world, and I've even gotten free tickets to a Manchester United game with my dad because I connected with a Premier League player. Every single client that has ever worked with me consumed hours of my content before making that decision. All because of the simple fact that I turned on the camera and started sharing the beliefs that I have and the decisions that I make in my own business. But content takes a lot of time and effort, and the first mistake that I see coaches and consultants make is that they don't have a clear vision for where they are going with their content and brand. And I understand where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong, because 2 years ago when I started creating content, I had no clue what I was doing, where I was going. I just turned on the camera because everyone else told me to do it. I had a very hard time justifying the hours spent on content because in my mind, those were hours that I could spend on acquiring new clients. I didn't feel good enough. Like, why would people online listen to someone like me? And I had no clue on how to structure my content. I had no clue what to talk about, on which platforms to use, and what content to create. It is simply impossible to create content if you don't know why you're doing it. The best way of fixing this is by reverse engineering the entire process. So I want you to set a short and long-term goal for your brand. My 12-month goal, for example, is very simple. I want to do $100,000 a month in personal profits through running my own digital coffee shop that helps coaches and consultants and agency owners break past 50K a month through 1 core product and 3 deliverables. My long-term goal is to write books about entrepreneurship and online education. Now, it's a lot easier for me to create content because I know exactly who I'm talking to, what to talk about, and why I'm getting out of bed every day and turning on the goddamn camera. These topics, they come from personal experiences, case studies, and what I've realized works for me and what I genuinely like to do. I like to talk about having multiple offers because I felt stuck for 18 months selling one offer to one group of people. I like to talk about the importance of having a content ecosystem because I've spent more than $250,000 of my own money sending people to a silly landing page when I could have sent them into my Instagram. And I like to talk about profit over revenue because I've done $50,000 a month in personal profits 2 different ways. I've done it as a solo consultant, running my own digital coffee shop, working with clients I consider friends, and I've done it by having 14 full-time people, a business partner, and a monthly revenue above $200,000. And I promise you, I know exactly which route I'm picking. So I know exactly who my target audience is, because I've literally built this consulting business as the solution to the problems that Frederick 1 to 2 years ago faced. So my content creation process is literally just me talking to my previous self and making sure that Fred, in 5 to 7 years, is very happy about the things that he did today. And that is the best possible content cocktail. With a clear goal and vision in mind, it is time to actually create content that aligns with exactly that. But the problem is, most coaches and consultants, they create content for short-term results. And hey, I remember when I posted my first ever YouTube video, I embedded a Calendly link below the video, and then I went to bed. I was so certain that I would wake up next day to a few ready-to-buy qualified book calls. To be honest, I don't think I've ever booked a call from that one video, but that's the name of the game. It takes time. So I understand why these coaches and consultants have this inner feeling of I need to make content work because I've been in their shoes. In the beginning, you are typically very short on cash, you don't have a predictable client acquisition process, and your monthly revenue is fluctuating. So you turn to content as the solution to basically all of your problems. And that's not good, because content that you create from a state of survival is being created with the intent of receiving something. Whereas what content really is the exact opposite. It is you giving something of value to your audience without expecting anything in return. And this state of mind leads to a very bad relationship with content creation. And that is a scary, scary paradigm to have towards something that you need to have a great relationship with for the next many years to come. To summarize, you want to be very good friends with your content creation process. If we boil down content, it's actually simple, because content is nurturing. Content is literally just your potential clients spending time with you before they are ready to make a decision. The more time they spend with you, the more clear they get on whether it's a yes or a no. If you constantly push call to actions and basically beg people to buy your services, then you're doing it wrong. You must play the long-term game with content. You shouldn't treat content as a hit or miss game. It is a very, very long-term play where you should set yourself an input goal and then stick to that input goal over the next 1 to 2 years. And then you can look back at your overall content strategy and basically determine whether it was great or bad. In the meantime, you should have shorter term activities in place that takes care of your cash flow, so that you can actually sit down with a cup of coffee in front of the camera and enjoy the content creation process with a healthy state of mind. And then we don't want to wait 1 to 2 years, of course. Then the funny thing happens. You see short-term results. As an example, my most recent video, the digital coffee shop model, is without a doubt the best performing video on my channel. And that was actually the video that I had the lowest expectations towards, because I created that video for myself. It's the exact video that I wish I would have watched 2 years ago. So basically, I didn't create it because I needed clients or sales calls from it. I created it for me, for my clients, without any expectations. And there's a lesson in that. In order to turn strangers into buyers, you need 3 things: traffic, nurture, and sales. Traffic and new eyeballs is the first impression you make with a stranger. It is like shaking someone's hand. The nurturing process is where people get to know you as a person, your values, your hobbies, your interests, and then of course also your vehicle, your system or your framework, whatever you want to call it, the thing that you're very good at that gets your audience from point A to point B. This is where trust is established. It's like a dinner. And then the final part, the sales process. This is where you turn the stranger and the person that you've just had dinner with into a paying customer, either through DMs, a landing page, or a sales call. And the coolest part about content is actually that it can take care of all 3 processes, but not all at once. The majority of coaches and consultants that I see online, they try to do everything in every single content piece that they throw out there. They try to do a viral hook or video concept, then they try to bring value because that's what everyone tells them to do, and then they try to sell and convert in the call to action. And I see where they're coming from. I understand the thought process, but talking from experience, you should separate your content. Here's my content strategy and my philosophy, and it is created based on the 3 steps in the sales cycle. My organic YouTube and Instagram is 90% nurturing and 10% sales, which means it is very boring if you're not my ideal avatar. You wouldn't watch this video if you weren't an agency owner, coach, or consultant who wanted to sign more clients through content and personal branding. It will never go viral, and that's the whole point. I want to speak and appeal to a very specific group of people, and I want to be in control of what kind of people that ends up in my content ecosystem. So 99% of my new eyeballs and traffic is from paid ads. It's a very specific piece of content that gets people onto my Instagram profile, and then they're in my content ecosystem. This means that I can go to sleep peacefully, not worrying about going viral because I couldn't care less about the views. I run a done-for-you agency with very limited spots, and then of course my high-ticket one-on-one mentorship where I just need to convince 8 people every single month that I'm the right person that can get them from 10 or 15k a month to 50k a month. So my content is simply just me positioning myself as the authority and the solution. So here, I just build authority and trust by sharing what works in my own digital coffee shop that makes me personally more than 50k a month in personal profits. And then, once in a while, I will sell. And when I do, I hard sell. Typically, it's a hard call to action on my Instagram story where I push people over the line. And I am allowed to do so because in that time period between the call to actions, I build massive trust and authority through value-based content. I know everyone tells you to give away freebies, but please let me be the first one to tell you the exact opposite. I hate freebies. The intention of giving away something of value is great. Don't get me wrong. Instead, I try to treat my video as the freebie. I don't need someone to comment a certain word to receive the full amount of value. When you give away the value in the video, you create the feeling of reciprocity with your audience because they didn't ask for it. You just popped up on their feed and enlightened them. But what happens when you tell people to comment something in order to receive something, they feel entitled to it because they worked for it. And that ruins the whole purpose. So trust me on this one. I have given away countless of freebies and it's like peeing your pants. It feels great while you do it, but long term, it really sucks because the engagement is amazing and your brain will spike you with dopamine because of all of these comments and reach. But I promise you 99% of these people who gets the freebie will never turn into a paying customer because, excuse the language and the Andrew Tate line,
you're broke! You're fucking poor!
They are just looking for the easiest and most simple solution. And these people will tell you that they will try it and then come back to you. But I promise you they never come back. 90% of them won't even open or go through the freebie. Because when stuff is free, we don't give it any value. So why would you spend your precious time implementing something that is so invaluable that it can be done for free? Also, the last thing you want is an audience of people seeking free stuff. It is the worst audience to have. And not only do you attract bad clients in your ecosystem, you also scare away the people who would have potentially turned into high-ticket paying clients. Because why would they want to work with you if all you do is give away your mechanism to everyone and their grandma? To avoid this, focus on giving away the information in your organic videos instead of asking for something in return. And when I say information, I mean it. For the love of God, do not give away the implementation that is exclusively to you and your clients. The idea behind this is very, very simple. You want to expose people to what's possible through informing them. And then they know that there is a better outcome out there for either them or their business. And then they will, of course, come to the person who enlightened them, which is you. And then they will pay, because of course you charge for your time and knowledge. And when people pay, people are committed. And committed people get results. It's the most positive flywheel ever. And that is exactly what I do. I show people what's possible and what I do within my own digital coffee shop. I don't give them these step-by-step frameworks. My blueprint and my systems are exclusively for my clients. I don't want to cannibalize myself because your client relationship is 100 times more important than your follower relationship. And once that follower turns into a client, I promise you, they will never want to go back to being just a follower again. And this is coming from someone who has an 80% renewal rate. Let's be real for a second here. Every single business owner on this planet knows it's possible for them to scale their business. They know they can make more money. They know they can grow and they know they can sign more clients. Our social media feed is filled with people scaling to incredible numbers with all possible business models in any time frame imaginable and at any age. And yet, the only thing that I see these coaches and consultants talk about in their content is the end goal, the outcome, and the destination. If all you talk about is outcomes, then you have no longevity in this space. Don't get me wrong, having a clear goal and outcome for where you take your clients is great, but it shouldn't be the main thing that you are communicating because the vehicle and the person teaching it, you, is way more important to these people. And it is exactly what separates you from your competition. People come to me because I'm the only person in this world who preaches a digital coffee shop. So I have no competition. These people see themselves in me, right? They share the same values as I and my views upon business. They agree with me on these 7 mistakes that we're going through, and they probably also hate freebies. They understand and they've bought the concept and idea of a digital coffee shop. And most importantly, they believe that I and this model is the solution for them in order to get from A to be. So they couldn't care less about a guarantee or a specific outcome. All they care about is the idea behind the digital coffee shop. Profit over revenue, simple instead of complex, serving instead of selling, and having multiple offers instead of one. The best example that I can give you is that I work with multiple people who makes way more money than I do, and yet they still believe that I'm the right fit to help them because of the idea and concept behind my model. And that's the whole point of creating content, right? It is for people to buy into your ideas and fully understand your model. Because if that scenario happens, then you're literally the only person in the world who can serve them. But it comes with a price, the price of a longer sales cycle. A money-back offer is very easy to understand and buy, but a whole idea and concept takes a long time to understand. But when they do, it's game over. You are not Alex Hormozi, Iman Ghazi, and Mike Thurston. And the second you accept this, your life becomes so much easier. Because these people are playing a different ball game with a different set of rules. For inspiration, they are great. Don't get me wrong, but their numbers are simply impossible for someone like you and I to recreate. Because they have something that we don't, a large organic audience. If you have millions of organic followers, you should listen to them and walk their path. But if you don't, then I wouldn't suggest it. I've personally worked one-on-one with some of the biggest names in the consulting space and spent a lot of money. And I've had countless sleepless nights because I just couldn't match their KPIs. I didn't have the same cost per call as they did. I didn't have the same ROAS on my ads, and my closing rate wasn't as high as theirs. And looking back, of course, I couldn't do the same things that they did. I don't have a YouTube channel with 200,000 people who trusts me. I don't have an Instagram profile with more than 100k followers, which means that I simply don't have the same foundation and baseline that my mentors were making their decisions from. Which at the end of the day makes it impossible for them to consult me because we're playing in 2 different leagues. So my best advice to you is to find someone with a similar sized audience. All of the people that I follow and take inspiration from business-wise, their audience is below 30,000 people, because then I know that we're playing in the same ball game. Of course, if you want specific advice on growing your YouTube channel or scaling your Instagram followers, then find someone who's done it and listen to them. And hey, before you get too sad about not having millions of followers, don't worry. In the last 4 weeks, I've done more than $55,000 in personal profits, and I only have 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. And the only way that this is possible is by running the digital coffee shop, because it allows me to serve everyone who wants a piece of my world. And always remember, with a high ticket offer, all you need is to convince 2 people every week that you are the right solution for them. You don't need a large audience. You need the right audience with the right types of content. And then when you have the cash flow in place and the right content foundation, then you can start expanding with more broad content to attract new audiences. My digital coffee shop won't retire my grandchildren, and that is actually perfectly fine. It allows me to work with amazing clients, have a very healthy cash flow, and build my skills and reputation as an entrepreneur. I've only been in business for 3 years, and I can already feel the heavy snowball effect from posting content and having a personal brand. The network and opportunities, both in life and in business, spreads like rings in the water. But it only takes one bad decision to ruin 3 years of integrity and honesty. So please, if you decide to share content and speak your mind online, please notice that it comes with the greatest form of responsibility. So keep it in mind when you share content, when you create content, speak your truth, share your opinions, and act exactly as the same person you do online as offline. Because I don't think that any of us can imagine the power of having a personal brand in 10 years from now. The simple way that I think about this is that in 10 years from now, I would love to be an investor in multiple different businesses. And when these people search my name, what will they find? Will they find positive articles, comments, and reviews? Or will they find me in a rented Lamborghini preaching a shitty course? Luckily, the only person in control of either outcome happening is you. So if you avoid these 7 mistakes, you will not only have an amazing reputation and brand, you will also make a lot of money.
Someday, I wanna lay down like God did.